This video is sponsored by Alcid eHomes, whose mission it is to accelerate the advent of sustainable, healthy living systems around the world. Hi, welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 67. The Tesla Model S refreshed sets a new record, and Tesla is stopping their sales of cars with Bitcoin for now, and Google is joining the Starlink internet. And according to T&E, the Ice Age might be ending sooner than you might think. And I just got over 50,000 subscribers. And all this and much more to come in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Tesla is not only building new factories and expanding in China. Tesla is also expanding their Fremont factory. Tasmanians showed some pictures from the Fremont factory, where we can see Tesla has begun expanding tents where the Model Y General Assembly is located. Another tent will be built on the other side of the Model 3 assembly line, hinting at significant expansion in the production capacity. Tesla already has a production capacity at Fremont for about 500,000 Model 3s and Ys with just 2 tents. So adding 2 more tents to this could mean an increase of hundreds of thousands in production capacity. Impressive that they can even squeeze more in at the Fremont factory. So this could maybe mean that in 2022 Tesla would be able to produce maybe something like 800,000 cars at Fremont alone, up from about 600,000. That would be a pretty significant boost and shows just how fast Tesla is moving. Just adding capacity here, maybe 200 and 300,000. That is more than GM and Ford are making of EVs combined. The Chevy Bolt's EV total cumulated sales result in the US for its entire existence just exceeded 88,000 units. I don't think Ford and GM combined even next year will reach 300,000 EVs, and Tesla will add that to their almost 600,000 production capacity at Fremont. And then Texas will also come online and Berlin will come online. I really don't understand that people can think that GM and Ford will catch up. How? They are hardly trying. Sure, GM will come out with a Hummer EV this year, but only like 10,000 units. That's nothing. And the world is going electric, and Tesla is pushing like crazy, and GM and Ford are neck deep in debt and are not really making a big push for EVs. Probably because they're not making any money on EVs, but if they don't start to make this switch faster, they won't be making any money at all. And speaking of Ford that had some cheap shot at Tesla because one roof fell off at Tesla, well, Ford is now recalling Explorer SUVs over concern about falling roof covers. Yeah, karma is a bitch. And if you don't believe me that the Ice Age is ending fast, then maybe Transport and Environment's report will convince you. Because they have just come out with a report asking the EU Commission to speed things up, and also showed when they think EVs will be cheaper than ICE vehicles. They think because of the dropping price in batteries, we will see light vans be cheaper to produce already in 2025, sedans, heavy vans and SUVs in 2026, and the smaller cars in 2027. So if this turns out to be true, I can only see Tesla get this even further down and faster, because Tesla's new battery will be the cheapest on the market. And that will only increase as time goes by because of the economy of scale. Only Tesla is aiming for 3,000 gigawatt hours of production annually in 2030. But anyway, T&E continues to write. The EU Commission should set an end date for fossil fuel car sales in June, when it will propose tightening the bloc's car's CO2 targets. Last month, 27 major European companies called on the EU lawmakers to set 2035 as the end date for selling new combustion engine cars and vans. And recent polls showed that 63% of urban residents in Europe supported the ban after 2030. At least 7 car makers and 10 European countries have announced plans to phase out conventional cars. But in the absence of the EU commitment, these deadline remains either voluntary or uncertain as to their enforceability. I think it would be a good idea if the EU Commission set a target deadline, and 2035 should be enough time for everyone. Well, maybe not BMW, that think they will make ICE cars for the next 30 years. And for GM and Ford, as we just talked about, who would need to speed up quite a bit. But even if the EU Commission doesn't set an end date, I still think this will be forced by consumers. If we believe this report, and I do, I actually think this will happen a little tiny bit faster, but then pretty much every single vehicle will be cheaper to produce as an EV already in 2027. And that's the price of the car. But then remember, it is much cheaper to run and operate an EV compared to an ICE car. And the EV are just so much more superior to the ICE car in every single way as well. So why oh why would anyone want to buy ICE cars at that point? Well, there of course will be some stubborn, nostalgic people left, but now we are talking about ICE will be 1 or 2% of the market. So consumers will demand it. They don't want no polluting expensive cars that need maintenance all the time. They will all want EVs. And as I made a whole video about, then we will see the disruption happen very, very fast, because not only will the EV sales shoot up like a rocket, but at the same time the demand for the ICE vehicle will fall off a cliff. And I believe Tesla will be at a production capacity at that point around maybe 12 million cars per year in 2027. So Tesla will be ready to meet this demand. But where will Ford and GM be in 2027 with the pace they have right now? GM doesn't even expect to come out with the last and cheapest version of the EV Hummer until 2024. So I don't think they will even be at 1 million EVs at that point. And then what? When nobody wants to buy their ICE cars anymore. Yeah, this disruption will come fast, and I actually think 2027 might be a bit conservative. Maybe it will already happen in like 2025, like someone like Tony Seba has predicted, and he has been right about the EV revolution so far for the last decade. But time will, of course, tell, and no matter if it will be 2025, 26, 27 or 28, this is still just around the corner. And if the old OEMs wants to stick around in the size they are at right now, they need to be like 90% converted to EVs in about 6 years' time. And no one has this as a target. Volkswagen has said 60% in 2030. Not even Volvo, that only produces about 700,000 cars per year, don't expect 100% conversion before 2030. And Volkswagen speaks highly of how they will catch up with Tesla, but they're still relying on their old hybrids and are calling them electric cars. But maybe this will also change sooner than they think, since there are already talks about not classifying hybrids as a sustainable investment here in Europe. If that comes true, automakers like Volkswagen will lose a lot of so-called electric cars. So there are just so many things pushing the EV revolution along. I just can't see it happening as slow as the old OEMs are saying. As we talked about briefly last week, Elon Musk hosted the Saturday Night Live, and I think he did a great job. But it sounds like it has also changed the view of Elon for many hosts of CNBC.
Can I just tell you this, Sorkin?
Yes.
How awesome it was, and Becky, what he said about Asperger's. And I mean, I'm so grateful, honestly, so gratified. I spoke to my son. I spoke to my son that morning. You just have no idea the type of, I don't know, it just really kind of enables you and makes you feel much better about yourself. It was amazing. It's really, that was really
anybody
important.
Who has different abilities.
Richest guy in the world, that's smart, and because you deal with
I love him for that.
Amazing people.
Not like some of the things he's done in the past, but the idea that he even said that that's part of the reason that he tweets some of the things he tweets and apologized for that. I'm like, okay, I get it.
I saw your notes. I think in New Jersey now, people on the spectrum, born on the spectrum, I think it's about 1 out of 70 or 80 young boys, 1 out of 40. You just do the math on how many kids are on the spectrum and what they deal with on a daily basis. And then you see this guy who makes rocket ships and electric cars, and he's worth $100 billion, and he's funny, and he's married. I mean, that was my point. I don't care what else happens from that. That is so unbelievably empowering and fantastic that he did that. He can never do anything wrong for me again, ever.
Yeah, how people can hate this guy that does so much good for the world is still beyond me. And while Elon was on Saturday Night Live, there was of course some commercial breaks. Well, Lucid and Ford and Volkswagen and Volvo spent millions of dollars to showcase their new cars. But Tesla of course did not do that. But Elon did bring the Cybertruck with him to New York, and I think that made a better advertisement. The Cybertruck just looked so Blade Runner, driving around in the streets of New York, and just got so much attention. This is just some of the videos from Twitter about the Cybertruck, and just look how many heads is turning. Man, the Cybertruck is going to be one big advertisement stunt when we have hundreds of thousands of them driving around in the streets of every major city in the USA. And the progress at Gigafactory in Texas is starting to be more than just the building. Joe Tagmeyer, who is bringing us a lot of great videos and information about Giga Texas, did hear from someone at the site that Tesla did their first testing of the Gigacasting machine, a Model Y rear end. Wow, they're already testing the casting machines. Just crazy. And the foundation on the other side of the highway is also speeding along. This area is called Bobcat. So that might give us a little hint of what this place is for, because Tesla had battery projects in the past that have used the code names of CATS, as Project Tiger that was used for the Gigafactory Nevada. So this could be the battery factory that will supply Giga Texas with Tesla's own 4680 cells. But I actually thought that this part was the battery part of the factory, but now I'm not so sure. If anyone knows, please let me know, I would love to learn. But the steelwork of this part of the factory that I thought was the battery factory is now done, and Joe Tagmeyer also got some shots of them signing the last pillar and putting it up. And remember, if you want to see more about the Gigafactory 5, Joe does make great videos where he explains what is going on, so go check out his YouTube channel and give him a like and a subscribe. And Gigafactory 3, there has also been some rumors about a halt in production, but it seems to be just that, rumors. But we did see a lot of reporting of Tesla China's production number in China being about 40,000 cars in April, which I also reported on myself. We thought the production was 25,000 for the domestic market and 14,000 for export, but it turned out those 14,000 for export was part of those 25,000, so that should be the total production number from China in April. 25,000, not 40,000. Sorry about that. But Tesla should be in talks with EVE Energy in China, yet another battery maker like CATL in China that is making lithium iron phosphate batteries. So hopefully Tesla will secure even more batteries with EVE, and it would be the cheaper batteries with the iron cathode. So very exciting. And Tesla has removed the option of buying their cars with Bitcoin. Tesla will no longer be selling cars with Bitcoin because they are concerned about the rapidly increased use of fossil fuel for Bitcoin mining and transactions. So Tesla will not sell any of their Bitcoins. They intend to use it for transaction as soon as the mining transition to a more sustainable energy. And they are looking at other cryptocurrency that use less than 1% of the Bitcoin's energy per transaction. It seems a bit weird they didn't think of this before they went into Bitcoin, since we all know that it takes a lot of power to mine cryptocurrency. But Elon did actually talk about this back in February 2019. But a SCE filing showed a retired fossil fuel power plant was brought back online for the sole purpose of Bitcoin mining, and that appears to be the catalyst that caused Elon Musk and Tesla to put a hold on Bitcoin. But Guiley from Hyperchange also tweeted that the main argument was that the Bitcoin network did a 10x from 2018 to 2021 with minimal increase in energy consumption. Now that has changed. Guiley did make a whole video about this, and I will leave a link in the description below if you want to make a deeper dive into that. But maybe Tesla themselves should start their own cryptocurrency and mining it using only renewables. That would be cool. And Elon did tweet that Tesla is in talk with Doge to improve system transaction efficiency, and said potentially promising. So Tesla will not leave crypto for good. They still believe strongly in crypto and are actually helping to solve the energy problem. So that is cool, and maybe they should collaborate with SpaceX on this one. So that also could be the currency of Mars and beyond. The future currency of the human race. And we learned that LK, the parent company to ITER, that is making the casting machines for Tesla, is making a 9-ton casting machine. Who and what might that be for? My guess is of course Tesla. They are still the only one using the casting machines, but a 9-ton, that is a big one. We have heard about the 8-ton one that should be making the underbody of the Cybertruck. So a bigger one? What would that be for? Well, there are a couple of options, of course. Maybe some underbody pieces for the semi-truck? But as Ray for Tesla wrote on Twitter, it is LK Tech that is building it, and they are building it in China. So maybe this is the one that will make the whole underbody of the smaller compact Tesla that they will make in China. And we have heard Elon talk about making a smaller car in one casting before, so maybe this is the one. If so, this is very exciting news. And Panasonic plans to increase profits due to Tesla's battery business. Panasonic expects its automotive division to generate an operating income of 50 billion yuan this year, said the company's CFO, and added the automotive batteries, which are nearly all Tesla, account for around 40%. And he also confirmed that Panasonic is also set to launch a test line in Japan this year to produce the new 4680 cells that Tesla unveiled at Battery Day. Yep, the 4680 cells that only Tesla can use right now, and all the other battery manufacturers like LG and CATL and more are also going to make the 4680 cells. So good for them, good for Tesla, and not so good for the competition. And of course, SpaceX once again made history this week. Yes, SpaceX did launch and land the Falcon 9 rocket for the 10th time. This is simply just amazing. While everyone else is still dreaming about reusable rocket, SpaceX is doing it. And remember, Elon has been saying that they only need about 3 flights for the reusability to make economical sense. But this was their 27th Starlink mission. So on next week's news show, we will have had the Starlink launch number 28, which Gwynshot Will said would give global coverage. And now even Google is jumping on the Starlink wagon. In an announcement on Tuesday, Google announced that its cloud unit had won a deal to supply computing and network sources to SpaceX. As per report from CNBC, the deal involves SpaceX installing ground station at Google's data centers, which in turn connects to Starlink's constellation. Such a system is expected to help Google in its effort to compete against companies such as Amazon and Microsoft in the rapidly expanding cloud computing segment. But as I reported on before, Microsoft has already partnered with SpaceX Starlink for their Azure Space Cloud platform. And Google's head of global networking is optimistic about the Starlink deal. He said, "This is one of a kind. I don't believe something like this has been done before. The real potential of this technology becomes very obvious. The power of combining cloud with universal secure connectivity is a very powerful combination," he said. Oh yes, everyone is going to want Starlink. Well, maybe with the exception of Amazon. Don't think that Jeff Bezos wants Starlink. But over 500,000 people have already ordered Starlink internet. Starlink is simply going to be such a big deal for people here on Earth and the moon and Mars. And we are now, of course, also waiting for SpaceX to try to refly the SN-15 Starship. And we did see a new FCC document that showed that the SN-20 will be an orbital flight and do a soft water landing, like SpaceX did with the Falcon 9 back in its early days. And apparently they will of course take off in Texas but land near Hawaii. Nice. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla shorts. And the Tesla Model S Plaid, not the Plaid Plus, but only the Plaid, just set a new quarter-mile record at 9.23 seconds. That is the fastest quarter-mile time of any production cars, beating the Bugatti Chiron's 9.4 seconds. So if you just want a fast car for drag racing, well, get the Tesla Model S Plaid and save about $3 million compared to the Chiron. Just saying. And Sandy Monroe has just gotten the Ford Mark E delivered at his shop and is getting ready for teardown. So very soon we will know a little more about how well the Mark E is built. And I think we would all like to see the Cybertruck with the SpaceX package. Oh yes, very well made, Slave Popowski. I agree, this would be the perfect fit. The truck that can go anywhere on any planet. Yeah, that's built tough. And NTSB has come to its first conclusion that autopilot could not have been engaged in the Tesla Model S crash in Texas, so guess CNBC has some apologizing to do, which they probably won't. And another one that needs to apologize is a German policeman who accused a Tesla driver of driving above the speed limit at 180 kilometers an hour. But luckily the driver noticed a vehicle following him and activated his cameras in the Tesla to record. Judge saw the video and no violation found. Shame on you, dear policeman. I have said it before, don't mess with the Tesla, it just won't end well for you. And Tesla might start delivery of the refreshed Model S in a couple of weeks, according to an email received by customer. And Elon came with a new update about the full self-driving subscription that should roll out in about a month, and we are getting close to a version 9 release. Hopefully, but anyway, when it comes out, I think it will blow people's minds. As Elon wrote, the difference between version 8 and version 9 is gigantic. And GM was out off-road testing the Hummer EV. And another stupid boy drove a Tesla from the back seat. He was arrested for reckless driving. Unfortunately, he was released again, bought another Tesla and drove it from the back seat again. Against stupidity, even the gods fight in vain. Thanks, Consumer Report, for making this a thing. Guess you guys have some apologizing to do as well. And Tesla has now over 25,000 superchargers installed. And if you remember, it was only back in November 2020 they showed that they have hit 20,000 superchargers. That is 25% growth in just 6 months. In comparison, Electrify America expects to install, or have under development anyway, about 3,500 DC fast chargers this year. And Tesla put up 5,000 in the last 6 months. Man, they can't even keep up with Tesla in putting up charging stations. And do you want 2 free stocks? Yeah, I thought so. If you use the link in the description to open a new Webull account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening the account, and another free stock valued up to $1,600 if you found your account with at least $100. And it will of course help support this channel as well, a win-win for the both of us. And you do have a chance to invest in both Bitcoin and Dogecoin with Webull as well. Enjoy! And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. Dave Anderson, Kathleen Childs, Paul Rickards, David Smith, Daniel Roast, Bruce Leon. And my thank you for watching, members. David Bellamy, Kathleen Childs, again, thank you very much. eBay Sutup, Chan Nguyen, Robert Drauby, Bob Jamieson. MIB Nice and You Are members, Morten Stjernholm and Luke. And my 2 best in Tesla superheroes, Bobby Freeman and Andrew Goodman. You are both very good men. Thank you all so much for your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Couldn't do it without you guys. And thanks to everyone that subscribed to my channel and getting me over my big milestone of 50,000 subscribers. I'm just blown away, and during that time I have actually learned to say subscribers and not subscribers. That's apparently not a word. Anyway, thank you so much for subscribing, supporting, and watching my videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. Do you want a truck that's built tough? Well, you might not want a Ford.
So you want a truck that's tough? You want a truck that's really tough, not fake tough? Yeah, but it was uphill. And this is the actual truck. This is not CGI. It is literally bulletproof to a 9mm handgun. That's how strong the skin is. So it's ultra hard, cold rolled stainless steel alloy that we've developed. We're going to be using the same alloy in the Starship rocket and in the Cybertruck. So on the right, that's like normal truck doors, like might as well be made of tissue paper. You know, when you say something's built tough, that's what we mean. What about the glass? Oh my fucking god! Sure. Room for improvement.
That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this video out a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button or notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to donation options in the show notes. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only, so don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.